It was a quiet evening, a night when the world seemed to hold its breath, waiting for something, anything, to stir the calm. But no one, least of all Melania Trump, could have anticipated what would unfold next. The former First Lady, renowned for her poise, elegance, and reserved nature, had always kept her family shielded from the harsh glare of the media. But this night would change everything. In a move that sent shockwaves through the media and political world, Melania Trump filed a lawsuit against two of the most controversial liberal TV show hosts in the industry. The reason? A shocking, unforgivable insult aimed at her 17-year-old son, Barron Trump. In a world where public figures are constantly under scrutiny, it was the kind of remark that was too far, even for the most hardened critics. The hosts, known for their biting commentary and often divisive opinions, had taken the low road, mocking Barron's appearance and making cruel jokes about his upbringing. But what happened next was something no one saw coming. The lawsuit was just the beginning of a story filled with twists, turns, and jaw-dropping moments that would leave the media scrambling for answers. As the details of the lawsuit began to unfold, the public found themselves divided. Some rallied behind Melania, applauding her courage to stand up for her son, while others questioned her motives. Was this an attempt to silence her critics? Or was it something deeper, an emotional, protective instinct that all mothers can relate to? But in the days that followed, a shocking twist would reveal more than anyone had bargained for. The tables would turn. And when Melania Trump spoke out, her words would not just be heard, they would resonate on a level that no one could have predicted. Stay tuned, because what happens next will leave you speechless. In this moment, Melania Trump would show the world a side of her we've never seen before, one that would challenge everything we thought we knew about her. The news hit like a bombshell. Melania Trump, the former First Lady, had never been one for controversy. Throughout her time in the spotlight, she maintained an air of grace and dignity, keeping her private life just that, private. Her husband, Donald Trump, was the subject of countless headlines, but Melania was known for her calm, poised demeanor. She never publicly lashed out, never gave in to the temptation of public feuds. But this time, something was different. It started innocently enough, at least, for the liberal TV hosts. Known for their sharp wit and often controversial commentary, the two hosts had built their careers on pushing boundaries, ridiculing conservative figures, and making biting remarks about anyone who didn't align with their political views. But one night, in the midst of a heated debate, they crossed a line that would alter everything. The hosts, in a segment designed to critique the Trump family, began making fun of Barron Trump, Melania, and Donald's youngest son. Barron, a teenager at the time, had rarely been in the public eye, as his parents kept him away from the media spotlight. But that didn't stop the hosts from mocking his height, appearance, and even his mannerisms. They called him awkward and compared him to his father in ways that were both demeaning and cruel. They laughed as they made cruel jokes about his upbringing, insinuating that Melania and Donald's parenting was somehow responsible for the boy's alleged awkwardness. The insults were scathing, but it was a comment made by one of the hosts that set the entire chain of events into motion. Maybe Barron should spend less time in front of a TV screen and more time learning how to act like a normal teenager, one of the hosts quipped, followed by laughter from the audience. But what they didn't realize was that they were stepping into dangerous territory. The comment struck at the very core of Melania's values, her love and protection for her son. Melania, who had always remained largely silent in the face of public criticism, was no longer willing to stand by. In an unexpected move, she filed a lawsuit against the two TV hosts, accusing them of defamation and emotional distress. The world gasped in shock. Could this really be happening? The woman who had endured years of public scrutiny without a single word in response was now fighting back. The lawsuit sent ripples through the media, and the internet exploded with reactions. Some rallied behind her, applauding her bravery and determination to protect her son. Others questioned her decision, wondering if this was simply an attempt to silence her critics. But what happened in the days following the lawsuit shocked everyone. Melania, known for her quiet and reserved nature, made an unprecedented move. She agreed to sit down for an exclusive interview with a respected journalist, someone known for asking tough questions and pulling no punches. The interview, scheduled to air on a primetime network, promised to give the public a rare glimpse into Melania's mind. When the night of the interview arrived, anticipation reached a fever pitch. Millions tuned in, eager to hear her side of the story. The journalist wasted no time, diving straight into the topic everyone was waiting for. Why did you choose to sue the hosts? Was it truly about protecting Barron, or was this personal? Melania paused before answering, her expression calm, but her eyes piercing. I have always believed in silence. I believed that sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. But this time, silence wasn't enough. They went too far. Barron is my son, and I will protect him at all costs. Every mother understands this instinct. It's not about revenge. It's about respect. For my son, for my family, and for the values that I hold dear. Her words were measured but powerful. She was not the typical public figure who would simply deflect criticism with a rehearsed answer. Melania spoke from the heart, and for the first time, the world saw the fierce mother beneath the composed exterior. The interview continued with Melania discussing her philosophy on motherhood, privacy, and the challenges of raising children in the public eye. She revealed how she and Donald had always tried to give Barron a normal childhood, keeping him out of the media's reach for as long as possible. Barron deserves to grow up without being attacked for things he can't control. He is a child, and no one has the right to tear him down simply because they disagree with his parents. The moment was powerful, and the response was immediate. People began to view Melania in a new light. Her calm and collected demeanor, which had often been misinterpreted as cold or distant, now appeared as a source of strength. She was a mother first and foremost, willing to stand up for her family no matter the cost. The interview sent shockwaves through the media, but the story didn't end there. The hosts involved in the lawsuit were forced to issue a public apology after Melania's words resonated with the public. They tried to defend themselves, claiming that their comments were meant to be jokes and that they never intended to harm anyone. But their apology was met with skepticism. The damage had already been done. Melania's legal team went on the offensive, and the case was headed for a courtroom showdown. The hosts, once untouchable in their world of celebrity, now found themselves on the defensive. Melania's legal battle became a symbol of a mother's fight to protect her child, and it was a fight the media was watching with bated breath. But the ultimate twist, the moment that truly stunned everyone, came when the case was unexpectedly settled out of court. The settlement included a public acknowledgement from the hosts of their wrongdoing, as well as a substantial donation to a charity that focused on children's mental health. It wasn't just a victory for Melania, it was a victory for every parent who had ever felt powerless in the face of public criticism. Melania's calm strength had won the day, and the world watched in awe as the media landscape shifted. In the end, she proved that standing up for your family, no matter the cost, was the most powerful thing a person could do. And the hosts? They learned the hard way that even the most powerful words can be silenced by a mother's love. The day of reckoning had arrived. What began as a civil lawsuit between Melania Trump and two of the most notorious liberal TV show hosts in the country had now spiraled into a full-scale media frenzy. The case had captured the attention of the public like few others, drawing in viewers from every corner of the political spectrum. The hosts who had once enjoyed unchecked fame and praise for their sharp wit were now standing at the precipice of a devastating fall. The courtroom showdown was imminent, and the world was watching. But just as it seemed like the tension was building toward a dramatic courtroom battle, the unthinkable happened. Melania Trump, the woman who had spent years in the shadows, remained silent and composed in the face of public attacks, had made a shocking move that left everyone stunned. With the trial on the horizon, she had an opportunity to press her advantage in court, but she didn't. Instead, Melania made an unexpected decision that stunned both her supporters and her critics. In an unprecedented move, she called for an out-of-court settlement. No more headlines, no more courtroom drama. The world had prepared itself for a prolonged battle, expecting bombshell revelations, explosive exchanges, and a fierce fight for justice. But Melania's decision to take the high road sent shockwaves through the media landscape. Why would she back down now, just as victory seemed within her grasp? Her reasoning was revealed in a statement issued by her legal team. "This is not about winning a battle in court," it read. "This is about standing up for my son, and for every child who has been unjustly targeted or ridiculed. Barron deserves to live his life free from public scorn. I've made my point." As the media scrambled to process this stunning twist, the hosts, once at the peak of their fame, found themselves in the hot seat. The outpouring of public support for Melania was overwhelming. The hosts, who had thought they were untouchable in their world of television stardom, now faced public backlash like never before. Their previous attempt to defend their hurtful comments only served to dig their own grave, and the public's trust in them evaporated overnight. Facing mounting pressure and realizing the tide had turned against them, the hosts were forced to make a public apology. Their apology was sincere, but it was too little, too late. The damage had been done, and they were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered reputation. Melania, on the other hand, stood tall, her quiet strength radiating with an intensity that the media had never anticipated. In a final twist, the settlement terms included an acknowledgement from the hosts that their comments had been harmful and unjust, followed by a substantial donation to a children's mental health charity. It wasn't just a victory for Melania, it was a monumental moment for every parent who had ever felt the sting of public criticism. The hosts were forced to face the consequences of their words in a way they never thought possible. The media landscape, forever changed, watched as Melania Trump emerged victorious, not in a courtroom, but in the court of public opinion. She had stood her ground, not with words of rage or force, but with the quiet power of a mother protecting her child. In doing so, she had proven that sometimes, the greatest victory comes not from confrontation, but from compassion and conviction. As for the hosts, their public personas, once celebrated for their boldness and irreverence, had been irreparably damaged. The world now saw them as the architects of their own downfall, victims of their own hubris. And Melania, she had done what no one expected. She had silenced the critics, not with anger or legal threats, but with the unshakable force of a mother's love. The final irony was that, despite their relentless attempts to destroy the Trump family's image, it was Melania Trump, the silent, poised former First Lady, who had emerged victorious, proving that sometimes the most powerful weapon in the world is simply love and the courage to protect those who cannot protect themselves. And as the media moved on to the next scandal, one thing remained clear. Melania Trump, despite her quiet presence, had reshaped the narrative. She had made her point, and she had done it with dignity and strength that left a lasting mark on the world. In the final act of this drama, the world witnessed a transformation, a quiet, deliberate victory for Melania Trump that would ripple far beyond the courtroom and the media frenzy. It was a victory not just for her family, but for every parent who had ever felt the sting of public ridicule or the unfair weight of criticism aimed at their children. As the media quieted and the public's gaze shifted, one thing became undeniable. Melania's actions had sparked something larger than a legal case. The strength she displayed, not through public outbursts or the pursuit of revenge, but through quiet resilience and deep love, stood as a powerful example of integrity in the face of provocation. She had found the courage to stand up for what she believed was right, for what every mother and father knows to be true, that protecting your child from harm is the most sacred duty. And she had done so not with anger, but with grace. Her words, spoken during that pivotal interview, resonated with people on a deeper level than anyone could have expected. This is not about revenge. It's about respect. For my son, for my family, and for the values that I hold dear. Those words carried weight far beyond their immediate context, reaching into the hearts of those who, like Melania, understood what it meant to fight for someone you love. She had, in essence, reminded the world of something simple yet profound, the power of compassion. But the true power of her actions lay not in the courtroom battle, nor in the media circus that followed. It lay in her ability to shift the conversation, to reframe the narrative from one of public spectacle to one of quiet resolve and love for one's family. Melania had shown that it is possible to rise above cruelty, to hold on to your values even when faced with extreme provocation. And in doing so, she had left an indelible mark on the conversation about public figures, media responsibility, and the treatment of children in the public eye. As the hosts issued their apology, it wasn't just about admitting fault, it was about acknowledging the weight of words and the lasting impact they can have. The public's response, and the settlement agreement that followed, was a moment of clarity, a reminder that even in the age of constant noise and instant gratification, there is still room for thoughtfulness, for reflection, and for doing the right thing. For those watching from the sidelines, the takeaway was clear. Sometimes, the most powerful weapon in the world isn't anger or vengeance. It's patience, wisdom, and the steadfast commitment to what truly matters. Melania Trump, a figure who had often been misunderstood and criticized for her quiet demeanor, had shown the world what true strength looks like. It isn't about shouting louder than the next person or tearing others down in a bid for power. It's about holding firm to your values, protecting those you love, and walking the path of integrity, even when it's the harder one to take. And perhaps most importantly, this story serves as a reminder that each of us has the power to shape the narrative of our lives. When we are faced with adversity, when the world seems to turn against us, we have a choice. We can choose to react in anger, to allow the noise to consume us, or we can choose to respond with thoughtfulness, with clarity, and with purpose. We can choose to rise above the chaos and make a stand for what we believe in. As the media moved on to the next story, and the public attention faded, one thing remained clear. Melania Trump had not just won a legal case, she had won something much more profound. She had reminded us all that true strength comes not from confrontation, but from the quiet courage to stand firm in your convictions. Her journey, her resolve, and her unwavering love for her son had given the world a lesson in how to be better, not just as parents, but as people. In the end, this was more than a story of legal battles and media showdowns. It was a story of one woman standing up, not just for her family, but for the dignity of every person who has ever been unfairly judged or ridiculed. It was a reminder that no matter how loud the critics become, the truth, when spoken with love and conviction, will always prevail. So, as the dust settles, we are left with a powerful question. How will we respond when faced with adversity? Will we rise up with the same strength, the same clarity, and the same love that Melania Trump demonstrated? The choice is ours to make, and it is a choice that can change not just our own lives, but the world around us. The true measure of strength is not how loudly we shout, but how deeply we stand in the face of challenges. And, in this case, Melania Trump showed the world that the greatest strength of all is to stand tall with grace, with love, and with an unwavering commitment to what is right.